Welcome to Savannah, and this is the grand finals now of our Age of Mythology Deathmatch tournament. The first one in Retold, actually. And in the blue color, playing as Ra, we've got Matador. In the red, his opponent, working his way through the losers bracket painstakingly. This is Looki, playing as Poseidon. Now, Deathmatch. Some of you will have not seen it, especially later on YouTube. Some of you will have never seen Deathmatch. And what it is you start with 20 grand of each resource, 200 favor, and you advance through the ages within 5 seconds, okay? So you build your temple as normal. 5 seconds you are in classical, and then you get all your upgrades immediately for classical, right? And then you move on to the next age. Heroic, mythic, you get all the upgrades, but you have to make enough buildings in the meantime to not just die to the other guy, right? You spam a lot of buildings, you spam a lot of units intelligently, of course. You have to counter each other and whatnot, and somehow secure yourself your town centers, because 20,000 sounds like a lot. Well, it's not. It runs out within like 7 to 9 minutes, depending on how intense you are with fighting. So there's a lot of action to be had, a lot of buildings to be made, a lot of units to be trained, a lot of micromanagement, a lot of multitasking. Poseidon is actually really well positioned here in the early game to start winning the fights, especially against an Osiris opponent. The barracks units are going to be kind of flimsy. It's really about the chariots that can turn the tide against infantry and archers. So once we start seeing that, Looki's army will definitely feel a little bit weaker as the chariot numbers grow. So you'll have to compensate for that with a bunch of peltas or cavalry. We're just not seeing any of that right now, but because he's advanced through Aphrodite, he's building super fast with these villagers. He's already on the job with the town centers, and there's a Migdol building attempt here as well. It's facing 5 mummies right now, and there's like no hero targeting, nothing significant anyway. Very important, I think, to have multiple fortresses training units so that you can clear the Mythians out quickly. And suddenly Matador is really starting to get ahead. I don't have any clue what happened to Looki, but he's not been training enough units, and it's definitely showing. You have to pre-queue at least a handful of units and make sure you stay on top of that, because right now all his army got turned into minions as the mummies have killed them. This is an Ancestor's God power right there under Eclipse. You get it from just making mummies, and then of course you retreat the mummies, and Polyphemus gets sniped by the mass chariots. What can you do? You need all 4 heroes, that's what. And you need some cav for the chariots, you need some peltas for the chariots, you need some hoplites for the front line, some hippospist as well to deal with the axemen. A little bit of everything, really. And a good pestilence in the very early game. Imagine this getting pestilence, then suddenly Egypt can't make all this blob, and you're safe. That would be the idea, but can you always execute it? No, not necessarily. Now, a lot of trouble here for Looki. He's very tired after playing all day in the losers bracket. Super long games, back to back to back to back. Very minimal breaks. And here comes Matador, well rested for hours. He's probably gone and had dinner. He's been chilling. He's at full power, man. He's at full freaking power. Okay, that was a really good slam on the mummies, but there's still 5 of them, and meanwhile the catapults are taking down the fortresses. Meanwhile the chariots can focus down the heroes. So as long as Matador micros the mummies back, he should be golden. The curse coming in, and actually, you know what? The mummies have been cleared finally, so that's good. That's really good for our Poseidon player. We might be looking at a slightly longer game. The chariots have to respect this and pull back at least a little bit. That's a really good use of the catapults over there, by the way, but I'm pretty sure it's easy work for the Hippeus. Now we've got a bunch of Petrobolas, of course. Those are also getting to work. I'm a little bit sad to not see a single Helipolis. Like, Helipolis in the middle of this army would force constant micro on the chariots, right? If the chariots shoot Helipolis, nothing happens. It tickles. So you definitely want a handful of those in there. If they end up fighting catapults, then still great, because, well, the catapults have a lot of damage output, right? The catapults have more, so you gotta be really careful with that, but it works, it works. Right now, however, resource-wise, our boy Looki is running out. There's no more gold in the bank, just a handful more. We certainly can't afford to print. He's got a triple market production up and running, but he's gathering wood as opposed to gold. It should have been gold this whole time. You kind of have to go double gold, I'm afraid, when you play cavalry. And I just think he didn't know this. Or he's making too many buildings. That could be one of both things. Oh, the Son of Osiris is on top of the Petrobolas. They're gonna get melted. They're gone. That's it. Doing very little damage in retaliation. That is a huge resource efficiency thing right there that he just did. He's even picking off some villagers. That's crazy. He's going in even deeper. The Son of Osiris will be raiding the villagers and the TCs now. In combination with mummies, it's even better, because they'll be summoning a bunch of minions then. As a result, the chariots are just kiting back and forth as the infantry tries to get on top of them. Well, they're gonna be dead on top of them, so that doesn't hurt very much. Just bleeding all over their expensive clothes. Yikes. Yeah, I think, guys, Andy? This is Matador. I think Matador has got this. GG. Called it. Called it. That was a really rough start for Looki, right? Didn't get to use any aspects of Ares. The Cyclops didn't do anything. They didn't catch villagers. If you have 2 or 3 Cyclops catching villagers early, they can kill the entire set of starting villagers, right? Is Deathmatch usually this long? Like 7 minutes? I did tell you guys, 7 minutes you can run out of resources depending on what happens, right? So whoever voted for Matador right now is gonna get a huge reward. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a game number 2 here on Alfheim, and in the blue color, this is Matador playing as Freyr. His opponent on the other side, playing as Hades, that's Looki. Gonna be going with Athena here. Very interesting. I don't really know why. Because a frontal push with Pestilence would be just devastating in and of itself. When the map spawn is this good, right? You build forward, he builds forward, you clash in the middle, you Pestilence, you win the fight. So immediately you've got an overwhelming advantage. You're on top of their production with overwhelming force. It should work, but it might not work. Looki isn't building enough. Greek need double this building amount, and then they can outflood Norse. The problem is, Norse gets an ever-increasing number of builders as you train units from your buildings that you made. So it really is an exponential growth right there. For Greek, it's not. It's all about how many villagers you've assigned to the job. And this is not enough. This is certainly not enough. Even with the split, it's going to be a little bit on the low end. There's no cavalry in the mix for our Greek player either, which is also a little bit problematic. You need something for the throwing axeman eventually. Silfort will be healing up the boys and gathering some food at the same time, because we've gone actually not for flaming weapons but for Tempest. Very interesting. That's unconventional, just like the Athena thing. So I guess we'll just see who prevails here. Oh, Golem Burst. Excuse me? The Golem Burst just teleported. You got cast here, it's popped up here. What the hell? How? doesn't have that range. What is going on? Yeah, definitely a good idea to ignore this and just not fight. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh god. Fight it. You don't have to fight. It's killing everything. Ooh. It may when the Golem Bursty dies, it sounds like I got an email in Outlook. That's a Microsoft thing, right? That's why they did it. Makes sense. Anyways, I really like the Mia Lion here, getting the huge stun off. Unfortunately, there's only the one. Looki didn't make anymore. We got a restoration in the middle as well to keep the army fighting. You know what's funny? Matador isn't making any Fafnirs. In this matchup, I myself would put down a second or third temple even and pump him, in addition to exactly the same kind of army he makes. It's just such a good addition to get on top of the Toxotes. What are they gonna do about it? I mean, they really can't kill that 1500 health monster. You need your Perseus out, all 4 heroes, always constantly training. But I think the truth is that Matador is giving Looki bigger problems than Fafnir. This is fundamental. This is macro, ladies and gentlemen. He's out macroing him. There's just so much more production coming in, and even though the town centers are done, Looki can't make use of his population, man, because Matador is just a Giga Chad, and he ruffle stomps the entire army, and then he goes again. Like a nice population space you have there. It would be a shame if you could use it. He himself is finishing up his town centers now, so won't be taking too much longer. But this one really does need some help. 100 seconds is just too long to spend on a TC. Either way, Looki somehow managed to... Oh, that's his army right now. The 34 Shades of Looki. They should make a movie about this. Chicks will dig it. Anyway, I really like the addition as well of the Rock Giants. It will just completely distract the units while the throwing axemen are evaporating the infantry. And here come the Peltas, as predicted, guys. The Peltas, they're the ones that will counter the throwing axes, we believe, right? They're kind of doing a good job. I mean, the micro is really spot on, but the overkill is as well. Peltas are just savage when it comes to destroying throwing axes. However, is that actually cost efficient? After they're done, they themselves will be destroyed by anything. Perseus is out. And honestly, Looki has established himself super nicely. He's got his triple market up. He's pumping his villagers. It's good stuff. 47 villagers out already. But you look at that resource bank, it's not hot, right? It's absolutely not hot because, well, what are you gonna do? Matador has twice the bank as you do. Army size is 0. That's a very unnecessary Inferno right now. It's gonna get some houses, which is annoying for a Greek player, but is it really a problem? He couldn't use the population space anyway. I think a bigger problem is that he doesn't have food. It's not about the Inferno there. What do you do in these kind of situations? I think you just wait longer. You don't have to use the Inferno, right? Just keep it for later when there's a better opportunity, a bigger army to destroy. Use it then. But it's not going to be necessary. This game has been decided by the KD by itself. You don't need very special tactics. You don't need very special god power usage. When you just outpump the other guy this hard, it will do the job. I did mention at the very beginning, right, that you need more buildings. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the last one. Matador here in the blue color playing as ISIS. He just needs one more win. He's got the tournament in the bag. On the other side, Looki, he needs a reverse sweep. It's a tall order. Hope you guys can cheer him on. He's playing as 4. Here come the longhouses. Plenty of barracks as well for Matador. We're building forward, trying to secure this front TC. I'm not sure that works, but hey, if he can overwhelm, this could work out rather well. He has enough villagers on houses that he can just absolutely spam from these barracks. And having more barracks than the Norse is, that's pretty bad news for the Norse, let me tell you. I do think Looki has a situation where he's not building enough barracks type buildings, right? Like he's really rushed into the fortress to get a fast mythic, but that's an Egypt thing. You don't really try to do that as Norse because you just get overwhelmed. Another reason why you want to go for the close by TCs with Norse and not try to build into Egypt's face, because, well, they'll be overwhelming you. And that's exactly what we're seeing. I think Matador has a fantastic lead in the early game positioning, and he's already adding in siege works. The half-war thing is working out beautifully. Sorry, no, half-war, it's called Sobek. It's called Sobek now. And we've got so many buildings coming up so quickly because of this. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh no! Oh no, that's so sad. Oh no. I was just gonna say Matador could have added even the monument situation to this. He's already had everything it needed, but yeah, for poor Looki, I think he just had too many games in a row, and he's been fighting all day here. Matador just super well rested. Delivered a fantastic performance. What a strong player he is. Thanks to Looki to playing, and congratulations to Matador for taking today's tournament in a sweep. I don't think he lost a single game. Beautifully done. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.